And welcome to this video. This is the Tech Boy, and this is Zeb Boykin. And today we're going to be talking about digital signage and displays. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Zeb Boykin. I have my own YouTube channel and not really related to tech, but this is what we do. This is what I do. We founded a business. We do digital signage and it runs off of Raspberry Pis. And so that's kind of what we're going to go over today.
Okay. So, do you have a sign that you could show us and how it works?
Yeah, I guess I can kind of walk you through how we set it up and just, go that way. And then I can kind of take you through the software that we have. So right here, it's a Raspberry Pi. I'm not sure how familiar you are with them, but it's this one came from Verlo's. They're fairly difficult to get a hold of right now just because they're computer chips. I think it's a little bit easier now. About 6 months ago, it was nearly impossible. But we buy kits, full kits. They come with essentially a power bank, a battery, not a battery, a charging cord to obviously keep power to it. Some of them, if they're not running, heavy duty, high RAM programs, they can run off of a USB plugged into the back of a TV. Or whatever you're running it on, typically any kind of screen. But the USB TV USB will provide enough power to run our Pis. Usually we get 2 gig Pis, Model 4s.
Is that 2 gig storage or 2 gig RAM?
2 gig RAM. Yeah, 2 gig RAM. And we'll run, I think they go up to 16 gigs. And so these things aren't big at all. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get a good shot on this thing. So this is the case. This one's already been built. It takes a second to put them together. It's not too crazy long, but they're very versatile. And most of the kits always come with a HDMI to micro 8 port, obviously, to run on. It's my group, you see. He's joined us. So all these Pis, especially Raspberry 4, and like I said, these are Model Bs, are essentially computers. Y'all, have you ever played with one?
A Raspberry Pi?
Yeah.
Yes, I have one up there.
Okay. What do you run it for?
Well, over the summer I was trying to turn it into a security camera, but I might turn it into a server soon.
Okay. Yeah, no, they're very versatile. Like I said, we run all of our signage off of them. Jeez, I'm trying to do it without breaking it. We run all our signage off of them. A lot of people run, they call them pie holes, and they essentially run ad blockers through a Wi-Fi Ethernet. And then you can run emulators off of them, all kind of older games, and people run full-fledged computers off of them. I believe the operating system's noobs, but very, very versatile systems. This one is, I don't know if you can see that very well. Yeah, so it's a basic computer. This one is, I believe this is a 2 gig RAM. But like I said, we run off Pi signage and not much to it, man. It runs still images. It has the ability to connect to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and with that Wi-Fi on our end on Pi signage, we run, or you can run YouTube videos and let it search out YouTube videos as it plays. All you have to do is post a link instead of uploading the entire video and killing the storage. Most of our SD cards are 32 gigs. Obviously, like I said, we run still images, so it's not very demanding on storage. So this is your SD card right here. It runs, like I said, it's a micro SD card, not much to that one. And then some of them need a fan, some of them don't. Like I said, we're not very demanding, so this one has a fan in it. I don't put a fan in some of them. They don't get too hot. I think the hottest they'll run is like 105, 104, or something like that. So it's not terribly taxing on it, but obviously it has heat sinks on there also. So we'll close this thing up, and I'm going to try to connect it directly into the webcam. Let's see if this works. So we got our HDMI always there. We got our power. And what we'll do is I'll double-sided tape these to the back of a TV. I'll hang a TV, and I'll hang a Pi onto that TV. And so it's essentially on one TV hanger. Let's see if this works. Put this into, go black. We'll put this into the wall so we have power. We've been doing this for about a year or so now.
Oh, nice. So do you just sell the Raspberry Pis?
Say again?
Do you just sell the Raspberry Pis?
No, we don't sell Raspberry Pis. We buy them. So we buy. So I guess the business model side of it is we'll partner with restaurants, mostly restaurants because they're the longest exposure with the most amount of foot traffic, and that's what we're looking for. We're essentially digital billboards inside, so anything from a waiting room to a gym to a restaurant, and even some like automotive waiting areas, any kind of long exposure with relatively high foot traffic. That's what we go for. We try to get exposure for whoever's advertising with us, and so we'll partner with, I don't know, anywhere from 8 to 10 in a city or county. And from there, we'll go out and we'll sell ad space to other local businesses. And that's kind of what this business was built on, was building a community that, you know, the business owners of the restaurant can be proud of, the local business owners of, whether that's trade work, realty, insurance, you know, just about anything we have on our screens right now. And so that's kind of our drive, is driving local businesses. And so once we partner with those restaurants, we'll go out and we'll sell ad space. Our ads run, the stills run 15 seconds, videos run give or take 30 seconds. You can play with that one a little bit, but once we sell those, we'll throw them up on the Raspberry Pis. While this thing is, maybe if I turned it on, okay. And so there's a little red light. That means it's on. So we're hooked up and running. Supposedly, I'll see if it comes through on this end of the Yep, it's loading up. So, can you see that?
The cookie?
All right, so yep. So I guess what I've already done up until this point would have been taking the SD card, put it into the computer, and loaded up the imaging for Pi Signage itself. Download it off GitHub, and then you can create an account on PiSignage.com. Create your account. I think they give you 2 Pis for free. This is what we're running right now. We got 71 up and running. A couple of these are probably need to be fixed or picked up or whatever, but you have all kinds of assets and everything down here. Players. This is just a list of all your Pis you have running. Like I said, we do external signage, so it's, you know, we go out and we get locations. If somebody's looking to do internal signage, is a good. Also, they have other ways to do internal signage, such as most of them are memory sticks, almost like an Amazon Fire TV stick, and then have to pay monthly at like, I don't know, most of them are like $30 a month. These pies, we pay a setup fee, a registration fee of $20, I believe, and then a registration fee of $15, and then it's $20 a year after that. So $20 a year compared to 30 a year when you're running 100 pies it adds up very quick.
Yeah.
But we're loading in here. Let's see if I can find. Let me see if I can find this. I don't even know what we named it. Let's see if I can find this one on the I didn't set this one up. I had somebody set it up for me. Did it go black? There it goes. Okay. All right, we skip a step. Here's this. Let me find my. You chopping this thing up, or you gonna make me look bad?
Oh, depends. I'll probably chop this one. Yeah.
I'm messing with you. It's been a minute. So, all you need to run this thing really is a keyboard. It'll take a mouse too. Obviously, you saw the USBs on the side, and you can connect Ethernet to it. You can connect USB 3, USB 2, Ethernet run off. We run all ours off Wi-Fi except for one, which we manually upload. If you want to do that, all you have to do is switch out the SD card and restart it. But let's say I have to pull that pile up. I'll pull you on the screen. All right, so we have this on screen. This pie is already registered. That's your registration number up top, essentially a serial number. And this once you get this screen and you have a Wi-Fi, you want to hit F6 on the keyboard after it's plugged in, and it'll pull up this screen. This screen you'll go to is very old looking UI, but simple. You know, it works. We'll go to Wi-Fi configuration. We'll find United States. We'll hit enter on that. We'll enter the Wi-Fi username. Like I said, it's very old UI. Okay, it's talking. I can't have to see that thing either. Home. Let me go to program. There we go. Down. I don't even know what our Wi-Fi name is. It's been a minute since I've done this thing. The Wi-Fi name, Wi-Fi password. Don't come in and log on to our Wi-Fi if you don't mind. And so it's gonna run everything, connect to Wi-Fi. We'll hit enter. Well, no, we won't. We'll go back. We'll go to finish. Sorry. So we'll go to finish. It might try to run it on IP, so I said hit enter on it. So while it's loading, it'll essentially restart, and I'll cut you over to that. But that's basically it. Once that's set up, you always get your cookie screen. But once that's set up, we'll come in here and we'll find that player. Like I said, I don't know what that thing's name is. It'll come up when it registers. But these are your groups. These are all anything grouped is going to be your playlists are in a group, and then your assets are associated to a group. Or sorry, your players are associated to a group. Your playlists are associated to a group. All assets are going to be your images, there's all kind of stuff you can add. You can upload files, a link, like I said, to a YouTube video. You can add a message, which is just a text. Create notice. It's similar to a message, slightly different. and then add local folder file, just upload entire folders. All I do is drag and drop from the Finder, from the folder, the image itself, drag and drop it on here. I run all PNGs, just because I save everything as PNGs. It's probably more storage effective to run JPEGs, but like I said, PNGs, everything's run on 1080p TV screens.
Okay.
I think we have a couple of 720s, but like I said, all these are ads that I've created. And we can go in here. See, this is a internal signage we did for Brady Insurance around here. That was my first time doing that. I'd do it differently. If I did it again, I would just create them a whole new account instead of storing everything on here. And so we cover a decent portion of the Carolinas, and I have given it 3-letter names, similar to how we run everything on like airports. So this will be Central North Carolina. I was looking at that pile. I'm sorry. This will be Central North Carolina. These are all our advertisements in Central North Carolina, and then Dillon is DIL, and then you have Marion is MAR, North Myrtle Beach, and we have South Brunswick, South Piedmont, Triad area, and then we have Albemarle up at the top. That just helps me find these on here. So when I'm looking for an ad to put on a playlist or a group, it's just easier to find because it's essentially alphabetical order by location. A lot of these people buy more than one screen. You know, we're running a screen anywhere from 300 to 360 a year, which is very, very cheap advertising as compared to, let's say you want to run 8 screens at right at $1,000, it'd be like $980 for 8 screens. So, you know, $1,000 a year for advertising is not much when it's all said and done. I mean, that'll get you 2 months of a billboard that people drive by for, you know, a few seconds. Whereas if you're sitting in a gym or a restaurant or waiting there, you're going to be there 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's kind of what we look for. And these are all our, I separate my playlist by location. So let's say this one is the classic. It's a nice restaurant, does very, very good traffic. Zeno's has been very well for us. A lot of these have only been set up in just recently. Central Carolina's been up maybe about maybe a little less than a year. Like Lizzie, Los Charles. See, all these are Triangle Fitness. That's a gym. So these are all your playlists. That we click on a playlist, and it'll bring up all of your assets on the right side, like all of them, everything. And then in the center is the assets that are on said playlist, right? You can set the standard time that you want when you upload these things, and I'll show you an update they just pushed out. They don't update the UI too much, but I'll show you what they did in a second. And also, so like I said, these playlists are associated to groups. So all these groups are, let's say Zeno's. And so Zeno's group, I associated to Zeno's playlist. Now you could do multiple playlists. You can shuffle the playlist. You can add additional playlists. You know, it's there's a lot that you can do that I haven't done.
Oh, okay.
With PySigners, just because it takes time. I have to learn it. There's not a ton of information on the software online. It took me probably a good 3 to 4 months to understand how to set up the pies, get everything up and running, and effectively to where I can trust it if I go set it up and in a restaurant without, you know, failing. All right, so this thing's connected, and I'll go in here and find it on That's the player ID. Where's this thing? Is it not registered? All right, it's not registered. So here's what we'll do. We'll register this thing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll register it. So we go back to the Pi signage. We'll go to players. We'll go to register player, and we'll go to get it from TV. And so this is going to be that number that was up top. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, F4, 5, 8, 8, 7DE, 7, 7DE, 7. Well, did it not catch my nines? Oh, it's going to be a pain, but yeah. All right, okay. I guess my keyboard wasn't connected Bluetooth. Anyway, assign group. So this is one that we put up in Triad. So I'm just gonna, this one's going up in the Triad area. I'm just gonna put it on Triad main for now. And the Triad main group runs, I have a main playlist that runs general ads in that area. So if we go into a new area, our salesmen have been working in these areas for 20, 25 years, and they already have clients that they have worked with previously. And so they already have ads on. They do everything from benches to menus to tabletops to business card displays. Basically what we do just 20 years ago. Right. And so that's kind of our bread and butter. Is our salesmen have been doing this so long that they've built a book of business to where we don't have to go out and build it. Right. So they're very good salesmen, but they don't have anybody to work with other than us, or they themselves can't, maybe not can't, but you know, it just takes time to learn, and they're getting a little older. I think Lee's 58. So, and Jeremy's a little bit younger, but you know, the technical stuff is a little bit harder to learn. So what we've done is we've partnered with them. We cut them a commission, per sale. And then, you know, Lee's done very well. You know, he works part-time, and he probably makes more money part-time than anybody I know. So he does quite well for, go ahead.
Is this what prevents people from, like, say the restaurants ordered their own pies and set it up, then they wouldn't need you. So it's what makes it hard, what makes it easier for you to come in and make it for them?
What makes it, all right, so when you're running a business, you have to look at many different factors. The primary factor would be, what is it going to cost you? Obviously, what's it going to cost you, and what are you going to get paid out of it? Our entire business model is built on low overhead and high volume of sales. Right. So like I said, we sell, 8 screens for less than $1,000 a year.
Yes.
Whereas, a billboard in Dillon, South Carolina is going to cost you $300 to $500 a month. Right. And so if you get something at the beach, it'll cost you anywhere from $500 to $1,200, depending on where it's at and what it's doing. The newspaper is going to cost you, I think ours runs right at $200 per print. So you'll get 5 of those. And that's twice a week. So you'll get less than a month's worth of newspaper print. So we make money on low overhead. I'm really the only paid employee. I have another founder that we obviously pay out to, and then we have commissions, and then we have contract work, which we've just picked up somebody to help install TVs, which is fairly time consuming, especially when I have to drive 2.5, 3 hours to get them up. So the reason we use pies is, like I said, the low overhead. So if we're paying $20 a year as compared to $30 a month of, what would that be? $3,600. What's that? $360 per pie. And we're running, I think, 80 some odd pies right now, maybe close to 90. It adds up. you know, I do all the ad creation. I do everything in-house. Like I said, the only thing we contract out right now is TV installs. We do contract out. We got a guy that's running routes to, check on TVs, check on pies, make sure everything's up and running. But generally speaking, I can see everything that's going on with those pies right here on the right. I don't know if you can see those green dots. So they talk to the TVs if they're working correctly. It'll be a dark green dot. A light green dot means it can't tell, and then dark green means it's ready. And then you have a yellow and a red, which means we need to go check it out, make sure everything's okay. Name of the player, we'll just do spare 3. And office. All right. So we'll register this player. Let's see if I can cut over there.
Okay.
Right. So it cuts black, and then it'll reset itself, or it should. And then when it comes back up, it'll say connected, and then it should give you the here, let me go ahead and deploy. Let me deploy this group. Try main, so we'll go here, and then we'll hit deploy. And so what this does is it'll send the so this is the pie screen that I was just showing you.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So it reset itself, and it's running. And so this is on 15-second intervals. So this would be one of our businesses that, they do lumber. So they'll be running in all of our locations up in Triad area, which would be right below like a Winston-Salem, Greensboro. Obviously, she's a insurance agent for Farm Bureau. This gentleman's a real estate agent. Insurance, real estate, very, very good for us. They're easy to work with. They pay on time. That's a big one. If somebody doesn't pay, I mean, we're so cheap, it's not even worth the headache of dealing with them most times. So
do you
a lot of times we just let them go, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you provide the screens to the businesses, or do they have to bring their own TVs?
So the ads on screen are paying to be on a screen. The screens are located in these, when I say restaurants and gyms, we partner with restaurants and gyms and waiting rooms and automotive waiting rooms and stuff like that. We'll go in there and we'll put a screen up with a pie in those locations. And once we do that, we already have some standardized ads that are running on that screen, anywhere from 10, 15. And within that first month, 2 months, Lee and Jeremy and some other salesmen will go in that area, and they'll run around to all these other companies, and they'll sell them ad spots on this screen for 15 seconds at whatever. So let's say A.L. Crowder paid X amount of dollars to be on X amount of screens. And so he runs on all these screens for an entire year. It's an annual contract. So some of them pay annually, some of them, okay, so here's a video. Some of them pay annually, some of them pay monthly, but
nice. Like
I said, generally, 8, 10 screens, generally about $1,000 to $1,200. So AZ heating and cooling. It's probably still loading. So when you first run them up, they have to load a second. Let me double check that. What's that, Olympic construction? And so I can go in here and I can search up Olympic. All right. So this is Olympic construction. Well, so I can pull up their ad. Right. And then make sure, double check that's the right ad. And assign. I can click here and assign, and it's assigned to all the ones in Albemarle, a few in Central North Carolina. They're all over the place. They paid us a good bit, right? So they have, give or take 30 screens. And so I can check any of these or uncheck any of these, and it'll throw it on that whatever playlist I check. And so I can come back in here, and it'll load it up at the bottom here at 15 seconds. And once I get everything on that playlist that I want to, or all of these playlists that I want to, at the end of the day, I can go to groups, and I can hit deploy all, and that's the recent update. Used to, you would have to go in and deploy each group individually. Obviously, that would get old after a while because you would have to deploy them individually at 70 apiece. It takes a little bit of time. So we're back around to the front of this one, just to kind of give you an idea. It takes about, I think, this was on triad. This was like on a 7.5, 8 minute rotation. We try to stay around 10 minutes. Anything more than that, it doesn't get as much visibility as we think it should. A few times we've gone up to 15. It's just too much. It's not. I don't like it. 15 minutes would be about 60 ads on a player. So
yeah. So okay,
once we go ahead.
Yeah. We have about a minute left. So is there anything you'd like to say before we end the podcast?
No. Find me on Twitter, YouTube, Zeb Boykin. You got any questions? DM me. Comment on me. Obviously, my Twitter and YouTube are a little bit less technical, a little more political, but no, come check me out. And you got any questions on pies or whatever?
All right. Well, thank you.
Love to help you out.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, dude.
Bye.